The only reason why Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was able to...
I'm sure it's President Bola Ahmed we want to say, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the only
He's
reason...
our president now.
Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu...
No, let's do it. He's not your president, Aisha.
I don't have a president.
No, don't say that now.
Why would I not say that? If you want to
Bola
sit
Ahmed
here...
Tinubu is not your president.
Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos State, if you want to sit here... If you want to sit here
so that you be the one interviewing.
No, I don't even need to. I'll just walk away so that you answer. You ask yourself and you answer yourself.
In his August media chat, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike heavily criticized your principal, Mr. Peter Obi, arguing that his public persona does not match his governance track record. How do you respond to this?
Mr. Wike is a mere appointee. When he becomes a presidential candidate and he makes that statement, I will respond to him. Right now, it's a waste of my time.
He's the FCT Minister. And
he's an FCT minister, but a mere appointee.
He is determined to deliver FCT where he presides over, and River State. So you don't think his comments matter?
It's not. His comment doesn't mean anything. It's not worth it. It's just a mere appointee who has to, do what is called boy for his principal. So I do understand with him. He's not worth any response. If Mr. Wike has said I'm a appointee. Let's see if he said it. Even for River State, they send a message.
If Peter Obi says, for instance, he will support Atiku, what would you tell him? Would you back him?
He's supporting Atiku now. Is it Aisha that is supporting? So let me tell you something. Peter Obi does not own an Aisha.
Yes.
So I'm not an employee. Like sometimes people say, "Oh, you work." I don't work for Peter Obi. I work with Peter Obi. So I am my own person, and I'm giving him support.
Absolutely.
So the fact that if he decides to support anybody, so what does that mean? You say if he decides to drop out of the race and support any, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Then that will be his own decision. It has nothing to do with me.
But we used to back him.
But how am I backing him when he's not running for office? 2027 election is going to be. He's going to be. We are fighting for our lives and the soul of Nigeria. I've used it war.
Metaphorically.
When I say, whatever you want to take it. Somebody that told you all is fair. So I should say that they just kill me like that. I'm fighting for my life and the soul of my country, and that's how it is everywhere. And one of the things we thought is that this election, we're looking at it. It is manual. It is not about the glitch. No, and people are already there. Men will mount, women will mount.
This is Naija Unfiltered on SYMFONI TV. My name is Olawale Oluwade, and my guest today is an Amazon, Aisha Yesufu, girl child activist. She's also a politician now and a member of the Nigerian Democratic Congress. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Same here.
You're welcome. Let's get on with our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
When President Tinubu met with the Catholic bishops a couple of weeks ago now, amongst other things he said, one of the ones that were so controversial was the phrase, in inverted commas, all is fair in politics. All is fair in politics. Now, many have alluded to the fact that since that comment was made, we've seen some rhetoric that will seem to have fed off that kind of statement from the president. For instance, the Sheikh Jengil in Kano last weekend actually was speaking at a public event, and we had three governors: Jigawa governor, Kano state governor, and one other state governor, maybe Kebbi. They were there, and they were laughing when he was saying he supports the Muslim ticket, which nobody can deny him his rights to support whoever, but that we're showing them, the Christians, that Muslims are more in number, and if Muslims are more in number than Christians, if Christians don't like it, they can leave the country for us. And he called Christians infidels. You're a Muslim, devout Muslim. How do you respond to this?
There's nothing surprising in what Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu said. And when Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu met with the Catholic bishops, right, I don't even see it as controversial. Because when you say it's controversial, when something is controversial, it depends on who said it. When someone is known to say those kind of things, it becomes norm. That's what he's used to saying, and he has gotten away with it multiple times. So for him, he has normalized that in the way that he said it. We remember grab it, run with it. He made that statement, power is not served a la carte. You grab it, go with it. And he told his people. And for him to even tell the Catholic bishops about all not being fair in politics, they've already had their series of meetings where that has been the blueprint of what they want to do in 2027. And you just mentioned the sheikh that had said that. Also recently, I think, is he a sitting senator or something in one of the states? Exactly, said it was people should be killed on that. So we're already used to seeing their supporters, anyways, on X threatening people and actually carrying out the threats and nothing happening. So for me, I really don't see, anything new in the statement that Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu made, because Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu will be Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu, and he will make such statement. In terms of the statement that was made by the Islamic cleric, one thing I would like for everybody, you understand, hold on to the anger that statement evoked in you. It's a challenge. I remember, and now let me digress a little bit and go back to 2022. I'm not very sure now, but I think it was Festus Keyamo that had come to do a statement where he said that he accused Mr. Peter Obi of trying to bribe, the Christian leaders or something like that. And I did a tweet. And I said, if anybody thinks that we're campaigning, that anybody needs to bribe Christian leaders for them to understand that a Muslim ticket, it's not just an insult, but an injustice and, a blatant telling you that you do not matter as a Christian in this country, then I don't have any words for any of such people. Because if you say in the country where we're supposed to have 50%, and there's supposed to be equity, and we know how divided Nigeria is. On a normal day, it's not something that people should blink eye out of. I mean, I'm from Edo State, and I see Christian, ticket every day. People tell me, even as a Muslim, that I can't be a governor of Edo State. But you know how polarized Nigeria is. For that to be allowed to stand, and people are like, it doesn't matter, whatever. They've already sold yourself. That's the message you have sent. That is the message, because we've continuously seen Nigeria as a place where the moment a person of, how do I put it, people see their own in power, they become extremely arrogant. We saw the only time I think we did not experience that was during Obasanjo. He didn't give anybody room to even begin to do that. We saw even with Jonathan. I'm from the South, and you know how arrogant Southerners were during the time of Jonathan. There's always that arrogance. You saw when Buhari was in office, the way those that we call themselves Fulanis, and the whole thing. So it's something that has been in Nigeria and be on it. But to say for me to even see those governors, that means it is what they have discussed inside their houses, and it's so unfortunate. And let me tell you something. For me, most of these malams, I call them malaman alat. In Hausa, meaning malams that are dependent on alat. These are people that are paid by government.
That's the sheikh now.
The sheikh, I'm talking about the sheikh. I think in Zingina or Jingina.
Jingir, I think.
Jingir, let me not miss, because for me, I have issues with names, remembering people's names. That particular, this thing. They go and check Nigerian budget. They are collecting billions of naira to build mosques. They are paying some billions to build churches. Are those the people that are going to speak for the people? They are not going to speak. They are protecting their jobs. And I remember I think it's 2019, where there was a memo that came out from Kaduna State, where it was said that, the Kaduna government written that they had paid malams for favorable sermon. Are those the kind of malams that anybody should be listening to? You also would see situations whereby even in the, you see pastors and leaders. I remember, recently I've seen a religious leader who called out Pastor Adeboye and said that is it because of the monies they are giving to them. I saw a video like that. And so we have these people who don't talk. Even during COVID, right? I think it was in Gandu, I'm trying to remember the facts correctly now. Kano State, then Governor Ganduje that had said, if this malice, if they do anything to tell people not to take the vaccine, they're going to take them off the payroll that they are in. So these are people who are paid by government. So they would say anything to defend that. But one of the things I will also say is that look at the body language that is coming out from the north. Nobody is listening to those malams. In short, they are abusing. And I am in my 50s, right? Born and brought up in Kano. Grew up in Kwana Hudu. I was born and brought up in Kano. You understand? Haikwar Kano, Girman Kano, Hausa Kamari Jakar Kano. I speak Hausa like a native. I lived amongst Hausa. I grew up there. For the first time, you've seen the northern youth revolting or standing up against the Malams. You saw the other day when Sultan of Sokoto was said to have said that people should vote for APC. Literally, they were cussing him out. No, they didn't even hold any this thing. And they were saying things like, oh, that one that his work is just to be a moon announcer. In Hausa, we call it, he just comes out to announce moon. Why will he be telling them this? So even these Malams, nobody is listening to them anymore. So whatever it is that they are saying, I don't think it's something that anybody should take seriously. But for me, what I want is that the anger that people felt at the statement, because it's a very heinous statement. Even in Islam, the Christians are not called infidels. They are called people of the book.
Exactly. I was actually going to ask you that.
They are not called infidels. They are called people of the book. The Christians, the Jews, you understand? I can't be a Muslim and not believe in Jesus. It's not possible. So for him to make that statement, but they know when they say he who pays the piper, right, dictates the tune, and they know what he knew what he was doing there. They know what they're doing, but the people are no longer fooled at all.
In view of President Donald Trump's remarks about religious killings, which he termed genocide, from the terrorists and bandits, he called it outrightly, Christians are being killed, our Christian brothers are being killed in Nigeria, we're not going to tolerate that, and he went on and on about that. Shouldn't governors from northern Nigeria, northern elites, northern leaders, have ensured that clerics, northern clerics, Muslim Islamic clerics, are properly, not educated, because I think they know what they're doing, just like you said. Should such directives not have been given to clerics by northern elites or governors? What do you think?
Since you started by mentioning Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, I think I'm going to use an American phrase that says, if it ain't broken, why fix it? Yeah. So for the governors, it's not broken. They are beneficiary of this. Most of them would not have been in office if not for division. So they will use whatever it is that they can use to divide. And religion is the one that comes in most handy. Tribalism is also used. Wow. Were we not in this Nigeria, I think the thing with us is that either we forget so quickly or we don't connect issues. After 2020 protest that started as a protest of Nigerian youth, NSAS protest, right? Nigerian youth coming out to say, stop killing us. And there were protests all across the country, north, south, everywhere. Then guess what happened? There was now division that was being used to say, oh, they are trying to remove Buhari. Oh, this is religion. It's because of religion. It's because of tribe. We were all sitting down when there was, is it Arewa Consultative Forum meeting or meeting of Northern Elders? I don't want to mix any of those. And they actually thanked, wasn't it Governor El-Rufai also? They thanked Malams for using religion during NSAS to cause a division so that the northern youth then did not continue in joining their southern, counterpart to do the protest. So what are we talking about? These are people who have benefited from this. And I've always said that there's a symbiotic relationship between Nigerian political rulers and Nigerian religious rulers. They are not leaders. These are rulers. And this symbiotic relationship is that the religious rulers need the political rulers to give bad governance so that they can continue to sell cheap miracles. They can put fear in people. So someone is going to go and meet their malam and say, pray for me. They will do Saukar Quran, they will read the whole Quran, or they will tell you to pay for them to go to Umrah, to go and pray for them because you need this. Either you need a job, you need your result, you need one thing or the other. Without bad governance, you will need to go to meet them. Why do I need to go and meet a malam to pray for me that I'm going to get visa? There are people who don't need visas to such countries. Same thing with pastors. You're going to meet your pastor to pray miracle and all of that. You want to go and do a testimony. Some people will, after they take their result to them, to go and bless it. You won't need to do that if there are good governance, if the economy is, expanding and there are jobs that are available. On the other hand, the political rulers, they need the religious rulers to keep the people subdued. That's why you were hearing during Buhari that protest was haram. Malams were coming to tell us that protests were haram. You can't go, you can't talk to the leaders, whatever it is, you enjoy it. And the more we go on, the more there is hardship. You see, and I've said this thing a lot of times before. That is why you will see Hisbah, we go on rampage. They will be destroying people's alcohol. They will burn there, they will say this and that. And I've always said, meanwhile, those same states are collecting VAT that is coming from alcohol. And for me, that is economic terrorism. I've said people whose businesses are being affected in that way should be able to go to court and ensure that they get a judgment all the way to the Supreme Court. I'm a Muslim. I don't drink. I've never tasted alcohol. But that is my religious injunction. It is not another person's religious injunction. Nigeria is a secular state. Everybody should be allowed to practice their religion the way they want to. You can't force someone to wear hijab. Neither can you force someone not to wear hijab. Let people be and let them do what they're doing. But what you see is these religious people, they will bring out more and more religion where people are suffering to say to them, this world is not for you. So this is the truth. In the Islamic part, which is mostly in the northern part of the world, this world is not for you. It's a temporary place. When you go to heaven, you enter Al-Jannah. So whatever suffering you're getting, just keep quiet. In the Christian part, which is mostly the southern part, you're being told that why are you making demands on government when you can ask for your own blessing? That's why you heard people praying that this government will favor them. I remember when Tinubu came and we were saying this, they were saying that the government. Okay, are we not all suffering, right now? So at the end of the day, it is not in the best interest for governors, for them to say that, to ensure that, religious leaders are brought to, not brought to book or made to behave in the right way. Otherwise, they stopped preaching. I remember in 1992, the reason why I remember that was the year I started university. My first university that I started with was Usman Danfodio University. And the then Sultan of Sokoto, I think it was the Suki, yes, before Machido, Sultan Machido came in, had set up something to say, Malams should not just go out and start preaching. You must go through a process, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You must go through a process before you start, before you start. Many people kicked against it. At the end of the day, he was removed. I think that was then later on, and it might not be a related issue. I also remember at one time, Governor El-Rufai also wanted to start something like that. But because of course, I supported that to say, look, we need that. But sometimes it's not about the message, it's then about the messenger. It's the kind of person.
Is doing that in Niger State.
Fantastic. It's needed. And, I was telling people, look, as much as, yes, Governor El-Rufai was very dictatorial in office, and all of that, the things that are done, it's a good thing for people to fight. There must be a standardized messaging. There must be a sort of, whether certificate or whatever, I don't know how they do it, but we can't have anybody come in and just talk anyhow. And if they talk anyhow, they should be arrested. And I always say, if you are ready to kill for God, you should be ready to die for God. So the ones that people will do some heinous things and then they disappear or they run away or they begin to do this thing. I think there's another video where some people, I think it's in Ghana, where they have this Malams, Islamic, Malams, they were attacking someone. They say so, and the government has gone to arrest them. Like, that's fantastic. Absolutely. And they dare not run away because that's cowardly. People bring their murderous intent into religion. And one of the things also is that when certain people do things, then it's classified, that's Islam. That's not Islam. That is those heinous people who are not being fought by the government.
I'm going to ask you, what do you think but let me ask you first. Why is President Tinubu repeating Muslim tickets. I've had guests on this seat where you sat, prominent northerners, Fulani, and not even non-Fulani northerners, sit where you sat. In fact, Professor Usman Yusuf, the famous professor, for many years has been calling President Tinubu's Muslim ticket a scam. That is a scam. That it is not about Islam.
There's nothing Islamic about it.
There's nothing Islamic about it. Why? What? And then, from even what you said now, that northern youths are revolting against, the leaders and even the ulamas and all of that. But why? What's the audacity or the boldness of the president repeating this? Because look at the uproar when he announced Kashim in 2022. Look at the uproar. You would have thought, okay, now you're in office, just to assuage the sensibilities of almost 50% of Nigerian population. At least there are northern Christians who are as northerners as they come. Why do you think he has repeated this ticket?
I don't think he has any option not to repeat the ticket. And I'll tell you why. And this is it. The only reason why Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu was able to...
I'm sure it's President Bola-Ahmed we want to say, President Bola-Ahmed Tinubu.
Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu. The only reason...
He's our president now.
Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu.
No, let's do it. He's not your president, Aisha.
I don't have a president.
No, don't say that now.
Why would I not say that? If you want to
Bola
sit
Ahmed
here...
Tinubu is not your president.
Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos State. If you want to sit here... If you want to sit here
so that you be the one interviewing.
No, I don't even need to. I'll just walk away so that you answer. You ask yourself and you answer yourself.
Okay, so you don't accept he's the president of Nigeria?
No, I don't.
You don't accept?
No. I don't, because he didn't win the 2023 election.
But
he rigged
said he won. The court said he won. Mm-hmm. And all of us Nigerians, except you, and maybe Dele Farotimi are the ones saying he didn't win.
So why then do you care about me?
You're a Nigerian. I'm before you now, so I need to know why you don't accept that.
I've just told you.
He didn't win.
He didn't win the 2023 election, and I don't see any reason why I should give, the only thing that I know to me, is an illegitimate president, if that's what you want to hear.
Almost 4 years after Aisha.
It doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong. And we can't keep sweeping things under the table. And that's the audacity that he has to keep doing what he's saying. When he said all is fair, it was because of the audacity of him getting away with grab it, run with it, and everything. And this is what happens. You keep enabling him, especially the media. No, you keep enabling him.
INEC. That's the authorities.
So INEC is not here. You be a law-abiding citizen. Continue to abide the law. I'm Aisha.
INEC said he won. The highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, sanctified, let me borrow the Christian phrase, sanctified that he won. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I obey the Constitution, which is the ground norm. So I have to accept it. I don't have to say that, but I accept that he's president. Anyway.
If the Constitution was what we really followed, and the law, he wouldn't be there. We won't even be declared winner. But anyway, I'm coming back to the question, or we're going to talk about.
No, continue with it.
So it's for a political reason that Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu will keep on. What's his name now?
Muslim Kashim Shettima.
Mr. Kashim Shettima. I just remember earlier on I had a conversation. I always have problem with names because I don't remember names as much. He does not have the Northwest. So in 2023, he could rig the election. Because for you to even be able to rig election, you need a critical number. Yeah? So the Northwest gave him that critical number. And sometimes when election is too big to be rigged, when you rig it, you only rig it to reduce the embarrassment, not to win. Because that's what we had in the different states. Even where our win was given to Roth, our numbers were really, reduced. So for now, he has lost that Northwest. One is that there were a lot of things that were going on in 2023. And one of the places where Tinubu had done, Mr. Tinubu has done his Mr. Tinubu thing was to put a front that he was sick. He was very sick, he was frail and everything. And there were a lot of people in the northern part of the country who bought into that. And it was, even if you go on Facebook, it wasn't a hidden thing. So there was this thing about, what happened with Yaradua was going to happen again. And I remember that time they brought Mr. Tinubu in with
Do you actually think that was a planned, a strategy?
It was a scam. It was when you say 419, you're doing 419
things. Are you sure? Did you actually believe that was a strategy?
Before. I'm telling you, it is. You are still asking me, am I sure? Am I supposed to go and bring another Aisha Yesufu to answer your question for you? Why are you asking me, am I sure? It was a scam. It was a master scam.
Wow.
Master scam. And even when he brought out, and then this thing was showing,
Yes.
I think, line,
Yes.
there were quite a number of people that were saying, look, they know this person and these people, that their capacity to do things will not allow that thing to be shown, but it was done for a reason. And so many people in the north believe that, and they ran with that. So most of them that were voting were not really voting for.
Aisha, please.
This is me, Aisha, talking. Now, can you allow me finish my thoughts?
Allow me, please. Just one. I'm sorry, really sorry, but. Okay.
The entire Mr. Tinubu is sick during 2022-2023 election was a scam, was a lie that was being sold to Ghana certainly. We think that they are voting for Kashim. I put water for my mouth, they talk. They allow me, they talk now. When I don't flow land, you will come talk your own. Now you want to do this interview, now you want me to do These are things I have said many times publicly.
No, I'm hearing this for the first time.
I've analyzed it. So the thing is that people don't connect dots. I do that a lot. And for me, I'm able to see, I can see the bigger picture, look at this thing. Sometimes it can be a curse because you're seeing things before people see them and they are like, going after you. So the whole of that was a scam and it was believed by a lot of people in the north because it was actually discussed. And then there was that thing where they say, Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu just wants to be president. Even if he enters that day and he dies that day, he does not lie. So people believed that, and they were, as far as they're concerned, they were voting for Kashim. And it turned out, how you know that it was a scam? When results were announced by their own INEC's own fraudulent result. And then there was this video where Tinubu was dancing, and he went down. First when they sing, don't they do shaku, don't they go down, they come up. As soon as I got that election, he started that whole this thing. So, beyond that, on a more serious note now, right? Going back to that initial question that you asked me. So he has lost her because you see the suffering. You see the suffering in the north. You see where there's poverty, people are suffering, and you see the uncaring nature. Propaganda cannot take away suffering. Uncaring nature that has come from Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu, the spending spree that he went to, the very much lopsided appointments. Meanwhile, there were lopsided appointments during Buhari. That's why I don't have sympathy for anybody. Some people were defending that. Some northern leaders were defending that. When Tinubu said, how did they have to say that thing? Hold my stick or whatever. Let me show you what nepotism is. He carried on 2 times this thing. And all of this lopsided election and all of that. And then the needless fights with former Governor Nasiru El-Rufai. Nasiru El-Rufai and myself, there's no love lost between us. We did quarrel like no man's business. I think it was 2019 or February 2019 or 2020. We had a major quarrel even on, on Facebook. I remember then some people were saying to me, Aisha, you should be careful. Your property. You have a lot of properties in Kaduna. Let them try it. Now that day all of us go kukuma mad and everything. The kind of heinousness that was done on Nasiru El-Rufai, he has also done his own. We will talk karma and whatever. He too, when he was in power, he entered it here. He was doing it to other people. But that does not mean that we will not say the right thing when we see it. And when we are fighting for justice, it's not only for people that we like. Whether we like people or not, we must fight, for it. What Tinubu has done to Nasiru El-Rufai is heinous. You understand? It's abominable. In the fact that this is someone, I will tell you, Nasiru El-Rufai is I want to say the biggest reason why Tinubu got into office. He was the one that had the audacity to stand up to Buhari with all of those Naira things, went all the way, their governors went and took the government to court on the Naira issue, went with him everywhere. And how do I put it now? Helped with the question, everything that needed to be done. Nasiru El-Rufai is the kind of person that he will carry matter on his head. If he believes in something, he will carry it on his head. Good or bad, he will carry it on his head. And so he did everything for Tinubu. And Tinubu then decided to disgrace him and punish him in the way that he is. People watch. People get angry. we also where Nasir El-Rufai had said that he was not going to do any position. He wanted to go and Tinubu standing there and saying that I will not leave this stage until you promise me that you are going to do all of that. Then you now come to disgrace him, even at the National Assembly. We know the National Assembly is in the pocket of Mr. Tinubu. And then to say that, oh, they did not make him that minister and whatever, that was him trying to break him. So that has caused a lot of rancor, and not just that, and other things. For him now he needs to keep the Northeast as much as he can. Which other region? With the Middle Belt, you have seen him, he has been trying very hard to go on and give the lots of appointments. You see the appointment that have become, I think the INEC chair, INEC chair, there were quite the APC chairman. There has been some sort of compensation. SJ, who is the SDF? Oh yeah, that's the SDF and all of that to bring the middle belt, because he's trying to get, the Christian within the middle belt to say, okay, we appease them to say we have you on this thing. So he cannot afford not to have a Kashim, because now if he takes out Kashim, then the Northeast are going to, there's nothing to even placate them. They're going to be angry. You saw, even when Ganduje was chairman of APC, they almost lynched him. He tried it. He saw the anger because the Northeast they tested the waters. And it might even be one of those things why this one they had to tell Ganduje, oh yeah, go and get something else and give this. They tested the water. They saw those ones were ready to stand. So he can't afford to. He has lost in North-West. Northeast is there that he and Atiku are going after. Then you lose. Then the middle, but you still can't, because in middle the Muslim ticket is still a major issue. Because look, whether we like it or not, and we can have two truths at the same time. I think that's what people shy away for. There is indeed a genocide in Nigeria within the way people are being killed in Yeah, I believe that. And there is also a genocide against Muslims. So, yes, when people say there's genocide, some don't say there's genocide against. How will you not say there's genocide when you see people, they are being killed because of their religion?
Entire villages, entire communities.
Communities, you kill them. Communities that it's all, are Christians. You enter the church, you kill them. But it does not also take away the fact that there's also genocide against Muslims. Muslims in Nigeria, because people have been killed in mosques, they have been killed in their villages. Villages that are all Muslims have been wiped out. People have run away from villages. Villages are ghost land. So at the end of the day, there is genocide in Nigeria where citizens are being killed, both the Muslim and the Christian, etc. But you'll find that there is more of the Christians that are being killed. These are truths that we must sit down and recognize and work towards it. But let me tell you something. The saddest part, and I want to, it might not, it's not part of your question, but I want to say it to illustrate what I'm talking about. The saddest part in Nigeria is that for your death to matter as a Nigerian, you have to be killed in certain places. And I'll give you an example. As a Muslim, if you're killed in Northwest, your death doesn't matter. If you're killed in Sokoto, in this thing, your death doesn't matter. As a Christian, if you're killed in the Southeast or South, your death doesn't matter. For your death to matter, you have to be a Christian killed either in the Northwest or in the northern part of the country, and you have to be a Muslim killed in the southern part of the country. Let me give you an example. When we had Uromi, some hunters were massacred and killed in Uromi. I think Uromi 16 or something they called it. There was an uproar all over the country. Northern leaders that you don't hear them speaking, other than when they are arranging mass marriage, that you see them, all of them, northern governors were talking, were angry. They are killing their people in the south. They are killing Muslims in the south. Meanwhile, if those Muslims were Edo Muslims, nobody would have said anything. Their Islam does not matter. You understand? So it wouldn't have made any. But because they were from the north passing through and they were killed, they were all out, they were killed. Guess what? A few days later, I think about 20 Muslims were killed in Sokoto by the terrorists. The same northern governors that were shouting about their people being killed were no longer shouting because it didn't matter. There was no religious distinction because these are Muslims killed by Muslims. in Northern, who are you going to accuse? There was nothing. The same thing. When you see some deaths will happen, when Southeast people are killed, terrorists will go and massacre, you don't see the Christian leaders coming out to say, oh no, their people are being killed in the South. They will make it a Biafra issue, they make it whatever, everybody will unlook. But when Christians are killed in Plateau, Benue, then that makes it, that's when they now speak up. So we all are the problem. At the end of the day, terrorists all are killing us. They don't care, but we have made it a religious and a tribal thing.
What should happen to this cleric who was calling Christians infidels and saying if they can't bear the Muslim, they should go toss into the lagoon for all he cares? And then what should happen to Senator Adefadaunsi, the senator representing Osun East, who said openly, recorded, even though he tried to deny and say he eventually said it's AI. Should they just walk free, both of them? Because that's incitement to violence.
That's not a question that should be asked of me. Or that's a question that you should sit the people who are in office down and ask them. This is a question that the IG of police should be answering. This is a question that the EFCC chairman should be answering, not a question that Aisha Yesufu will be asking. How many times have we asked for prosecution? Nobody should be above the law. If you say you are a religious leader, you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much that you make certain things, then you should be able to also rot in jail for that sake. After all, there are a lot of people that you can go and preach to them. Why must you preach using Jeep, the finest cars and these things? You can preach in prison. Anybody they should be prosecuted. But the thing is, asking me this thing, what does it doesn't make any sense as far as I'm concerned at this time, because we keep talking about these things and they're not being done. What then needs to happen is to put the people who are supposed to be in authority to do it. Of course, you know the EFCC chairman, or let me say the EFCC becomes blind when the people who are either in government or related to those in government, supporters of them, do all manner of things. We also recently the wife, they said the wife of a city, that sitting elective officer, whether senator or something, putting out bundles, and some of them were wearing APC uniform.
Candidates of the APC in Nasarawa.
Okay, exactly. Putting out money. Where is EFCC in all of this? Is EFCC will be blind and all of that. So I don't think this is a question for me. For me, is that everybody should be prosecuted. Nobody is above the law. If you say you want to tell us how much you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much you love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go to prison and go and continue the preaching all out there. But as far as because Nigeria, the laws of Nigeria, must be obeyed, and that's it.
Okay, let's switch gears from that. I'm sure the anti-corruption agencies, the security agencies, they will get this.
They know me. They know my house. No far. Anytime they want me, I'm ready to come over there. We are friends with each other.
It's not about you. What I'm saying is that they will hear your message loud and clear.
So they will
and
hear.
Hopefully
that you not hear. Oh, it's this person. It's
they
me
will do the needful.
FCC is no longer doing this thing.
They will do the needful. Okay. In his August media chat, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike heavily criticized your principal, Mr. Peter Obi, dismissing his presidential ambitions and accusing him of political opportunism, cheap populism, and politics of sentiment. Wike further claimed that Obi lacks, using his own words, not my words, I have serious respect, deep respect for Mr. Peter Obi. This is Wike's words, that Mr. Peter Obi lacks the genuine leadership capacity required to guide Nigeria, arguing that his public persona does not match his governance track record. How do you respond to this?
Mr. Wike is a mere appointee. When he becomes a presidential candidate and he makes that statement, I will respond to him. Right now, it's a waste of my time.
He's the FCT minister. And
he's an FCT minister, but a mere appointee.
He's determined to deliver FCT where he presides over. And River State, the second most important state in Nigeria, well, maybe the third, after Lagos and Kano, is determined to deliver it to the president in 2020. So you don't think his comments matter?
It's not. His comment doesn't mean anything. It's not worth it. It's just a mere appointee who has to, do what is called boy for his principal. So I do understand with him. It's not worth any response. When he becomes the presidential candidate, definitely we get a response. As of now, everybody can talk now. No be to talk. Talk is cheap.
Okay, so you're not perturbed about...
No, I'm not. With Mr. Wike, no, now, Abba. Mr. Wike, I said I'm an appointee. Let's see if he said it. Even for River State, they send a message.
He stopped an incumbent governor from seeking re-election.
That one, that you waiting our people, they call MU, because he brought in that this thing. Forget that thing. Let him go to Rivers and talk. It's a mere appointee. There's nothing. It's not a threat. He's just saying things. When he becomes someone that it's really, I will respond, but as of now, it's waste of time. Yeah.
Yourself, when Mr. Peter Obi did Sunday night interview on Channels TV network, you came out blistering on your personal YouTube space saying you found the entire interview line of questioning. You said it was irritating, using your words that you were irritated by it. Can you elaborate on this? What do you mean exactly?
Yeah, I was irritated by that whole interview because at the end of the day,
2 hours. 2 hours.
What then is the essence of, some questions that are being repeated that answers have been given over and over again? And if we were to go to that interview, probably, and I have deep respect for Shehu. Shehu is my brother, my, tight brother. But if you keep repeating the same questions that you've asked before and the answers have been given, what is it? It's just like this question that I'm always asked when I say Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu, and people are going on and on. I will give it to you. The reason why I was a bit, how do I put it, mild with you on that was because this is the first time that you were asking me. There are the same people that have asked me that question and I've answered it, and they keep repeating it. What do you want to hear? The thing was that one of the things that media in Nigeria is helping Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu do is to lower the conversation. Instead of us to talk about the conversations of things that are happening in the country and where the whole failure, we're talking about what school did you finish? Which this thing? What shoe are you wearing? For me, those are not issues that we should be talking about. Our country is on the break, and let's not reduce the conversation to the level of Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu. Let's upgrade this conversation and keep it where it is something that will be of use to Nigeria as a whole, and not to, just for the sake of trending. If conversation is about views, because that's what I saw, one of the things that I see now, people are just talking for, okay, why can't we have that thing that we trend, that will now bring people to, that's not what it should be about. It should be about what are the deep conversations that we're going to have in a way that builds Nigeria. Before you go to the next question, probably this might even be the next question. There were a lot of people who took that and were trying to make mountains out of molehill. I think that the word, is that how they say it? Yeah. And I think I saw one, I just watched it briefly, I just laughed because, sometimes that appointee position in Nigeria, because people are afraid, and I always say, how do I used to put it? May our bills not be more than our integrity. Because if your bills is more than your integrity, you then find yourself doing things that ordinarily you probably wouldn't do. I don't know whether it's a commissioner now, but I think it's an appointee in the Edo State government, Mr. Afebua. Yes, Kasim Afebua. I don't even know whether it was on your program, but I did see where he was saying something about, Aisha has problem with this thing. She had said this, that. And I've seen a lot of APC, supporters and members. First of all, they took that whole thing out to say that, I was saying that what Peter Obi said were not, I'm irritated by which wasn't the case. And I see them fixated on let there be a problem between an Aisha and Mr. Peter Obi. And I just laugh because it's really so pathetic in the way that they're so desperate for them, for there to be a problem between myself and Mr. Peter Obi. And let me tell you something. I don't know if this is my camera. Let me say it for everybody to hear. I'm not supporting Mr. Peter Obi for Mr. Peter Obi. I'm supporting Mr. Peter Obi for Nigeria. If Aisha Yesufu, needs to fight Mr. Peter Obi to drag him and put him in that villa, I will do it. No matter what, because as of this moment, this is the person who cares about Nigerians, who has empathy, who is willing to work, who has the energy, who can do the Jackie work. I am looking for who we go to do the work so that I'm not on the street demanding for mundane things. Why should I be going on the street to go and fight for children to have education, a Nigerian youth not to be killed, people to have jobs? These are things that effortlessly government should give. The things that I should be on the streets fighting for should be things like, don't cut this tree, animal rights. Let flowers be able to have, let bees be able to have flowers to pollinate. There are countries where those are the kind of things that their activists are doing. Let's make it sophisticated demands, not the demands that our great-grandparents or grandparents were doing in the pre-colonial era. So However it is, one of the things for me that I think media, this is a message to the Nigerian media, let's upgrade the conversation. Let's not just keep it low.
Okay. Specifically now, mention 1 or 2 or 3 of those questions you were irritated by on that program. 2 or 3 questions. Because I watched that interview start to finish, live. Yeah, maybe they've asked Mr. Peter Obi a couple of those questions before, but maybe they needed clarification, and all of those. Mention 1 or 2 or 3.
I'm not going to mention 1 or 2 or 3, right? Because it's not a jam question. But I'm going to tell you that whole issue about Piju.
About
Piju. Peugeot. But it was bullet. I was riding a Peugeot. It was, and then the interviewer say, but it had bulletproof. What was that? And we are talking about whether Peugeot has a bulletproof or no bulletproof. I'm not going to go down and list the other questions. You understand? When I say I'm irritated, it might be an Aisha irritation. That's how it is. It might not be your irritation. You might have watched it all and it was okay. You saw it was a great interview. But I'm irritated, because I look at the fact that not everybody can sit in an air-conditioned environment and have this thing. Not everybody has food to eat. Many people are suffering. The burden of what people are suffering, because once upon a time, I also was one of those people who was suffering as a child, and there was nobody to speak for me. Nobody cared about us. There are a lot of people today who nobody cares about their life. The only importance they have to the Nigerian government is their thumbprint, and that's once every 4 years. So when I watch such interviews and I think about these people who are suffering, I get extremely irritated.
That interview, like I said, I watched it live, 2 hours.
I don't want to dwell on the interview.
No, what I want to bring out is very important. I mean, I won't call Mr. Peter Obi excellent on that, because my area of criticism is that in some of the questions, in fact, the ones I actually consider very important, he didn't provide details. Take, for instance, power. He said before, in another interview, he had said 20-something thousand. This time around, he said 10,000. But because I know that power already generates more than 13,000, generates, but distribution is where the problem is. So he says 10,000 this time around. They now said how. He didn't provide the details. That's area where, so I won't say I'm scoring him 100%, but let's move away since they want to deal with it.
Since you're bringing up the issue of him not providing details, all the details that he had provided, go back to the same interview with the same person. What has been done with those details? We bring this thing, and it's deliberate. We bring mundane conversation all in, and then we sit down. The same person is being asked the same thing over and over again, and is providing answers. Meanwhile, the person, the same you now that you are talking to me, when did you sit down with Mr. Bola-Ahmed that you say he's your president, that he's not my president, and had a conversation with him? You won't.
Why
and he
won't I?
does. Why haven't you? Because he will not even respond to you.
Exactly.
But why are you okay with that?
Easy.
So let me hold on. Why is the media okay with that? The media is supposed to have a body. If the media comes out to say that, look, this person that they call their president, they will sit down and say, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, we will blacklist you. We won't do any. They won't do that. But guess what? When they see an Aisha Yesufu, or they see the opposition, candidate, that's when they have muscles, wings, and horns to be doing this. That's why I say earlier. You see this question that you asked me on whether Mr. Tinubu is who's president or not, because this is the first time. The next time me and you sit down and you are talking, I will even the rest of the question, I don't even answer you.
Okay.
Because I ain't got time to be wasting.
Okay, just take it from me, Aisha. Those who have met me, just like you now, I don't give anybody a pass on this platform. You don't get a pass when you sit with me.
It's not about getting a pass, but will they sit with you? That's the issue.
That's the point, Aisha.
That's not the point. The point is this: the media is okay with not, how do I put it? With they not sitting down with them, or when they come in, they just say all manner of things and get away with it. Let me give you an example. Nyesom was threatened by Mr. Nyesom Wike on TV.
Yeah, I remember.
What did the media do about it? You people didn't blacklist that man for the next 6 months. He loves attention. He says, and he said that in front of fellow media personality, and they were sitting there agreeing because they probably had opportunity to be close to whiskey that is 250 years old, and that was it. Access, when people have access, that's the problem.
I don't have the right to speak for my colleagues. I'm sure they can defend themselves, But I know that
You are all one.
if you know the effort
it's
we
media.
put into this job to get you guys to come here, even you, Aisha, do you know how long we've been on this matter for you to come?
Oh,
to come to this
please.
place?
And if you don't put, hold on. If you don't put this, if Abdul Malik, you are here, watch this interview. I came here, I sat here, I came for an interview, I sat here, and it did not work.
Aisha.
Wait, hold on. No, in short, record me, because I go carry this. No, because you brought this
We are
issue.
talking about it now.
Hold on, yes. Because on this program, I came here, the light wasn't working. I spent hours. I couldn't do it. And I left, and you wanted me to come a day before. Let me even tell you. It's because I'm sitting down here. Better apologize very well, because I'll post that apology.
Let me apologize. On behalf of myself and this platform, sincere apologies for the no-show that happened the first time you came here.
No, that
sincere
one.
Apologies.
That one is Nigeria issue. That one is not the apology. That one is okay. I told you I said I was going to come back because I didn't feel, but I sat that day of there.
Okay.
The
apology now again
was
that
you when you were calling me and insisting. And let me even give you an example. Throughout this week, I've done interviews every day of this week. For what?
Okay.
And
so
it's only
my
one person.
own
If I
sincere
die now,
apologies
Nigeria
too.
will yes.
No, you will not die. My own sincere apologies too for insisting that you come back the next day.
It's not insisting. Being unfeeling.
Unfeeling. Being
Yes,
lack of
that's
empathy, right?
Yes, that's the word. I've accepted it even before.
Okay,
now.
fantastic. So let's move on. We can move on now.
Yeah, let's move on.
You also commented on Babachi Lawa's interview you did here. Yes, you said you liked the part where he said he was going to back Mr. Peter Obi, that was going to support Peter Obi and Kwankwanso. But then you also now said you didn't like the part, you questioned why he would say, can Bola-Ahmed Tinubu be defeated? Why?
Yes, I think, what I felt was that there's this thing where people, okay, now, let me start from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know all this why they used to say 20 years, that Mr. I'm very careful when I say this because they cut out certain parts. And then they will now look at those people that used to say that Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu is a master planner. Master strategy. We didn't see the strategy. We see the planner. Because I don't want them to take that just part. Because they're very, anything Aisha, they're looking for. Where was it? So there's an allusion that is given to Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu that he doesn't have. And some of them, they keep, and unknowingly, they keep feeding onto this thing. It's an illusion, an illusion. It's not real. First of all, we know how we were being told that, he was the one that did 20 years plan in Lagos. He can bring in people. He knows how to employ people or get the right people for. Where has it? Where have you seen it? If the right result was declared, we would have been hearing that, if it was Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu, he would have done A, B, C, D. It's the same thing. When in 2022, we were saying that he's going to be defeated in Lagos, many people said it can't be done. The reason why Lagos election was rigged. The only thing was that it was too big to be rigged, right? For them to get a win. So what they did was to rig it to reduce the shame of the numbers of the defeat. And in many other states, Plateau and in many other states, that same thing happened. So when they keep giving him this thing that there's something, there's nothing. You understand? One of the things, they keep talking about is that Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu, I've heard this several times, that there's nobody he cannot bribe. I say it's the people that allow themselves to be bribed that he can bribe. Yes, he has the money, no doubt about it. We cannot outspend APC on Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu because for every 1,000 naira that any candidate brings, Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu and APC will bring $1,000 to match it, and because they have the coffers of this thing. We've seen the monies that have been spent, the projects that have been massive, inflated projects and all of that. So the money or whatever is not the issue. But guess what? It's the passion. It is in passion that we will outpassion them. People are tired. People are not going to listen. They are very good. APC is very good with propaganda, right? But you cannot do propaganda with hunger. There's no how you're going to be telling someone there's no hunger in the land and the person's stomach is rumbling from hunger, that the person will listen to your own propaganda and not to the rumbling of their tummy. So for me, I think it's a place where they think he has it or he doesn't. He is actually struggling. And I'll give you a few examples. I just gave you one. For me, which I felt, and when I sit down and say, for the person that they call master strategist, I can see this is the worst case of strategy that there is. First of all that drama with, Nasiru, Mr. Nasiru El-Rufai, what was the need of it? Even if you had said, first of all, we knew that the National Assembly, that one that is under his pocket, they didn't act on their own. Even if you now did that, what stopped you from calling a Nasiru El-Rufai and say, forget about those things. I want you to be in a position where you can do so much more. Can I look for something else? Get something else. Why cause a quarrel where there's no need for there to have a quarrel? And this, and that's why for me personally, I might be wrong, the very reason why they are holding on to, they've arrested Nasiru El-Rufai and kept him incarcerated. Is that the right word? Yeah. Is the fact that they are afraid of him, of what he can. They know that if it's madness for madness, he go stand anybody. And they fear. This is someone that you give him that, whatever, like him or hate him, that he's someone who is courageous. When he believes in something, he will go all out, and he doesn't mind putting his life on the line. What was that all about? There was no need, right? That's one. Let us go to Lagos State. That Obasa saga, what was the essence? To what end?
The Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly.
Yes, the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, where he was removed. He brought him back. There is something I always miss out. I think they call it APC something. Is it GC something in Governorship Council? I don't know whether it's AGC or something.
Governor's Advisory Council.
Yeah,
GAC.
or GAC, yes. GAC. You see that GAC, there was a bit of... So, remember what I said to you earlier? I connect dots, right? And I look at things and I go, the way that whole thing went, it wasn't the way that anybody who really is a strategist should go with things. The first thing was that Obasa was removed. Then they all came to Abuja, plus the deputy governor, everybody of them.
No, you missed the critical part. Obasa was removed. They put in a woman. A woman was appointed or elected amongst the legislators, Lagos State House of Assembly, as new speaker, sworn in. And then they came to Abuja, and the man insisted, that's brother insisted, she must be removed.
That's where I'm going to. I remember that. I remember that woman standing and saying that no matter what, I will stand up. So that's what I'm telling you, when you're talking about strategy. Look, there is no in a word, the smallest thing that you will overlook might end up, bringing you that. Where I'm going to with this, they came in and they installed that woman, and he brought them back in. And before then, I remember there was one man, I don't know who he is, but within that DC, where he said, Mr. Tinubu is not God, or it's not something, he cannot tell them what to do. They were angry, that back and forth. Before at the end of the day, they now removed that woman, Miranda.
Miranda.
I followed that thing, but they removed her, and then they put back Obasa. Those people in that distance, there are some people who will be aggrieved. Because, whatever you do, don't take away the dignity of a man or woman. Because when you do that, you slight someone to show the person, say, be anything. As a leader, it's better you absorb this, even if they disrespect you as a leader, take it more than when you see that person that does that place at that person. There were quite a number of people, that were angered by that. That's something. There are many of such examples all over, the country of some of these things that he has done. So he doesn't have as much. And let me also tell you why for me I felt this statement. Many people who believe that Tinubu will do what happened in Lagos in Nigeria, they've seen that it's not the case. What happened, one of the things people forget is that Lagos State was a major beneficiary of the reforms that Obasanjo did, based on the position where a lot of, headquarters and whatever are there. That's another story on its own. So it's not really him. So people who believe in that has been disappointed. There are people who believed in 2022 that Mr. Peter Obi was the most credible candidate, most competent candidate. But in 2022, they felt that the party that he was in, Labour Party, we always believe if it's not a PDP or APC, it will not be a NDC. Those people have seen that is not the case. And they are now, willing and ready to know that they are not wasting their voice, they will support it. So there's so many things that this whole thing that they think that, Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu has the strategy, has whatever. No, it's not. And by the way, you can see how they are already afraid. Even with the fact that they have 30-something governors with them, they are the ones that are still more afraid than anything. And before you even ask the question, PDP once upon a time had almost 30 or even more than 30 governors. It didn't stop them from being driven out of Aso Rock. Neither would it stop APC from being driven out.
From what you said now, Madam Aisha, so you actually believe that President Tinubu is a walkover in next year's election?
If I don't believe you, why will I be? Why will I be sitting with you? I would have been outside traveling around the world. I was actually tired traveling. When you were calling me to come and do it, I wasn't in this country. I was going around. I would have just been traveling around the world. Why will I come and sit and be part of the election if I don't believe that Tinubu will be defeated?
Do you actually know? Do you actually understand? Not know. Understand the capacity of the man, President Bola-Ahmed. Do you understand the sheer capacity? When I mean capacity, I'm saying the length he's willing to go to
I
win
understand
an election.
the evilness he's willing
No,
to
I didn't
go
say
to.
evil.
Aisha Yesufu
okay.
said so.
That's
Are
what-
you the
that's
one?
what you're saying.
Let me have my interview now. Go wait now. You dey fear. No talk now. Don't bring me to your this thing.
Go
I
ahead,
understand his level to go as evil as anything. And I've always said, if you want to defeat evil, you must think evil, but you must have the discipline not to do evil. But if you tell me in terms of capacity, where is it on the ground? 3 years. He's been your president for over 3 years. Where is the capacity? Don't you see? Let me tell you something. Tinubu had every opportunity because nobody expected. Most people did not expect much from him. When less is expected of you, when you do little things, people will clap and say he had opportunity to put himself on the path of doing good for people, so that people will begin to would have been saying things like, even though he rigged election, but he couldn't do that. When you are in government, re-election is not the time for you to be selling yourself to the people. The day you are sworn into office is the day you begin to sell yourself to the people by the work that you have done. Even simple thing. This is someone who is, we've known him, quote and unquote, to be a billionaire. Even in dollars, they say his own money. How the money came about, I don't know, but this is what we know. What do you come and you are needing presidential yacht? You are needing presidential aircraft. You're needing renovation of this, of that, of monies being this thing. When people are dying of hunger, you couldn't do that. So what capacity are you telling me? But let me tell you something. If the question you're trying to ask me is that whether I'm afraid of Tinubu winning, no. Tinubu is easier to defeat today than it was in 2023 when we defeated him.
Let me put the question in a different way. Madam Aisha, have you seen in recent memory in this Fourth Republic, this is the fifth president, Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Jonathan, Buhari, and then now President Tinubu. The 4 previous presidents, have you seen any of them? Even Obasanjo, who was a retired military general, former head of state, same with President Buhari, retired former head of state, retired military general. Did any of the 4 previous presidents bestride the landscape, the nation's landscape, have all critical institutions under lock, stock, and barrel? Have you seen any one of them? Control every lever of government. Control governors. I mean, state leaders, state rulers, let me use the word Nigerians love to use, rulers in their own rights. Cower them into submission. Have you?
Oh my goodness. You know one of the things I'm thinking about? I'm like, before we started this interview, I should have made sure that I was also doing this recording so that I'll have a raw this thing and I'll edit the ones I'll put on my YouTube.
We don't edit our videos, though. Except maybe one or two things.
Let me, because I really want this thing that I'm going to say to you, I really want it out there. First of all, Mr. Tinubu is one person that does not have the courage to put in people in office or in position that are better than him or bigger than him. That is the behavior of a coward. So what you always want is to have people that are less than you, that cannot stand up. So this is how Tinubu operates. He looks for someone who ordinarily would never get into a position, right? And he puts that person in position. And you must not dare to aspire beyond what he has given you aspiration for. So by putting in people whom, like in my own place, they say MU. My people is Akpokpo kind of people in position, then you can be able to lock them down.
What does that mean in English, please?
Akpokpo, like You know what MOU or like all there. Person will be say they no get head like
Mugu.
that.
Nigerians
Mugu. No, in when they say person for Mugu,
yes,
okay,
exactly.
let's say Mugu,
Exactly.
yes, in the palace of
exactly.
Mugu. So you put them in position for you to be able to control them, and then whatever it is you say to them, that they do. So courage is not. That's not courage. That's being cowardly. For example, Obasanjo had the courage to be able to put people in office that he knows will look him in the eye and say, Oga, this is not how it's going to be. He didn't do that. So doing the thing in a way that it's wrong, then you lock down the system. Is that what we should be applauding? For example, with an Obasanjo, he had people who will come out, like a Nasiru El-Rufai. You saw him, coconut head. He did a lot of
even
things. I'm going to that. He did a lot of things. To the extent, Obasanjo had to go to the National Assembly and say, you people, please, it's not his fault. I take responsibility. Exactly. That's a leader who is courageous, who is not afraid, who does not have insecurity issues. Because Tinubu has insecurity issues. He's not the man he thinks he is. Let me put it that way. You have to be a manly man. And you have nothing to prove for you to be able to put people who can stand up to you. That's what some of those leaders. And I'm going to do with Obasanjo. You saw Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, who even went to them and said when they were doing their third term agenda thing, and they put her name or whatever in one of the videos, went to them and said no. They stood in front of you and said, oh God, don't go for this third term. These are people with courage. You then will not take it as someone who brings in people and say, just sit where I put you. Anywhere you are going is where I tell you to go. If you dare to go above it, you then in problem. We saw what happened with Fashola, right? Fashola's first term. After his first term, when he was going for a re-election, literally, if it was not Lagos people that stood and said, no, this man, he has been working for us, he probably would not have gotten his son. We saw what happened, with Ambode. The thing with Tinubu is that he will look for, and you've seen it even in some of the appointments that he has made. People that ordinarily are not deserving or anything, should not even be in that place. Put them there. You know that it's not your capacity that brought you here. It's not your whatever. It's the fact that I want you, so you must play ball. That's the difference. Is that what has worked for the country? Is that what I should not sit down and be afraid of? Someone that is even insecure in himself has to have people that he can be the one to say, I'm better than those people. A good leader, you know what a good leader does? A good leader looks for people who are better than him or her, so that they will, and gives them a vision, they will go with it, and they will go on with it. The kind of room that Obasanjo, if I look at the current national security advisor, he was the reason why I got my voter's card in 2011. I always say this story. But today, even if he comes to run for councillor, I will not even vote for him.
You're speaking of Nuhu Ribadu.
Yes, he knows. I've said it to him several times when we've met. Nuhu Ribadu, yes. Because during when he was EFCC chairman, the things he did,
the passion,
you understand, integrity, standing against all these people who were corrupt. He was doing in EFCC what Dora Akuyili was doing in NAFDAC. So I was like, wow. Even standing up to Delta when they tried to bribe him, was it with how many $1 million? In those days, he said no, all of those things.
James Ibori.
James Ibori. So when he was running for president, because for me, the first time I voted was 1993. So when that election was cancelled, I voted for MKO Abiola. When the election was cancelled, right? I was like, I will never vote again in Nigeria, because I was so excited. That was my first time of vote. I was 19 at that time. Yes, now I can vote. I can decide who becomes president of Nigeria and who governs Nigeria. Then it was when it was cancelled, I vowed I would never vote again. So I didn't vote in 1998, 1999 when this thing was coming. I didn't vote in 2003. I didn't vote in 2007. Then 2011, I voted. Why? Because Nuhu Ribadu was a presidential candidate. I was like, okay, yes, we have someone who is courageous and great. So I campaigned for him in my little way. Where I was, I voted, I voted for him. But today, I'm not going to. Why am I saying this? You see the way those people could act. Because they are leaders who don't have insecurity, who are manly in themselves, who know they are who they say they are. And so even if they have someone in their team standing up and being strong, they are not threatened. Tinubu is threatened by anybody's manliness or womanliness. So he wants to be the oga in the room. He is not who he says who he thinks he is, and you see it that being reflected. But there's always one thing that I've said in the way that Mr. Tinubu had acted and done things in the last 3 years. It makes me think that there might be something, because of course his root. Nobody knows his root. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows what the truth, whatever, blah, blah, blah is. There might be something that was done to him, whether Nigeria did to him or some elders in Nigeria did to him, that now he's at the place where he needs to punish Nigeria.
Pay back.
That's the stuff I suffer as a child. You people, you showed me. You didn't. You made me to be nothing. You know, there's this thing that no matter how big your account is, if you don't have the wealth of the mind, Hausa people called it arzikin zuciya. If you know the inside, you can't be inside. You always feel that, like that little. I always see him sometimes even when he's talking and the way he sounds, he comes about like this little insecure boy that was treated anyhow, and then up till now he's still feeling that. Well, sometimes that's why I feel sorry for some Nigerians. Sure.
Let's move to your personal involvement with politics. What conviction led you to pursue politics, and what personal principles or values shaped or influenced your decision to join you were in Labour before, now NDC?
I was never in Labour. I was in ADC. I was never a member of Labour. I only joined political party. No. I was his supporter. I wasn't a member of a political party. So it's ADC, African Democratic Congress. That's the first political party I joined, and then NDC, Nigeria Democratic Congress, was where I went. The reason why I joined ADC was very simple. It was because of Mr. Peter Obi. In terms of, I saw the fact that being in a political, I was his supporter. I wasn't a member of the political party in 2023. Being in a political party was going to add more. For me, from 2022 to 2027, I've had one simple goal, which is to get Mr. Peter Obi to be elected, as president. But me coming into politics is a different thing. I decided to come into politics in 2021. And I made up my mind that I was going to run for office in 2031. I gave myself a 10-year period. And the reason why I decided to go into politics, so that was even before Mr. Peter Obi. And even then, I remember doing a long memo to PDP and saying, look, if you people really want to, I gave them some advice, and I said, put Mr. Peter Obi and Frank Wike Jr., Mr. Frank Wike Jr. as the face of PDP, and retire the likes of Atiku and Bukola Saraki. So the reason was that I realized that most of the things that we're protesting for or against were actually due to bad governance, and that politics and election is how these people come into office. And if we want to fix this thing, we can't be passive participants where we are not involved with it and just say that, oh, let them just come in, and then we just be on the street. It's be like, doing the same thing over and over again without getting a result. In terms of, so what principle guides me is for the greater good. What is it for the greater good? It's not about me, and that's why for me, I'm not going to partake in any process, even if I'm going to partake in an unjust process, just because I'm going to be a beneficiary.
Okay, your new party, the NDC now, did party primaries. All sorts of issues have arisen from those primaries. People are in court. I've sat with some of them here. Many, are speaking privately. They don't want to come on air to hear their grievances. You also had a falling out with the party hierarchy. There's a trendy video where you stood up and you were challenging the party leadership, including the founder of the party and all of those. But significantly, you wanted to be a senator, but you didn't get that ticket. And the party leader or leadership said they offered you House of Reps, and you turned it down. Are you too big to be a House of Reps member?
So let's go back to the video that you talked about. First of all, it wasn't even to the... So when you say party leadership, what does party leadership
NWC members.
Yeah, it was NWC. So the way they put it was that, she went to Sariak Dickson's house, that was wrong. No. There was no Sariak. The party leadership in terms of the chairman or whatever were not even in that. And that video was before the primaries were supposed to happen. It was brought in after the primaries happened, and people made it look as if, after the primary was supposed to happen and it did not happen, that was when I did know. Before that was the night. Okay, it was supposed to be tomorrow, the night before the primaries. No, because from the night before the primary, it went up to the day of the primary, because we left all of that, I think, around 3 a.m. was when we left, and they were trying to change the whole thing. I'm like, no, we need to have, democracy. Put this thing. The Electoral Act says there's going to be, direct primaries. So you can't just say, because at that time they were saying they wanted to elect certain people, just like delegates, to be the ones to do the vote. I said, no, that's not it. So that was where that conversation went. When you said for me, to an extent, it seems as if Nigerians don't want good governance. What they want is to have their own in place. And even as you ask this question now, I'm shocked that you are not shocked at the fact that someone will offer a ticket to someone when we're in a democracy. How is that right? And even when I first watched the video and he said, I was like, shoo, person, they talk waiting wrong. Say they talk waiting wrong. How do you offer? How then is that a democracy? First of all, I'm going to answer your question. It's a deep question. You say, are you too big? Because that's what he said. He said, we offered Aisha Yesufu a ticket, and she said she's too big. And I'm telling you, Mr. Sariak, or Senator Sariak Dickson was lying. We had, and this is, you wanted short answer, but these are not things that should have a short answer. When I joined the party, so let's go back, but after what happened that was last year, I think March, April, but after what happened to Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, you understand, that was when I made up my mind. Two things made me to make up my mind to run for Senate this year. Remember, I told you my goal was 2031, not 2027. I gave myself 10 years. So what happened? I was like, no, we can't continue to allow this happen. So I thought, okay, I was going to run. Then I looked at the Abuja, this thing. We have a senator doing her best, but the best hasn't been good enough for the people. And I felt, okay, I needed to do. There's another conversation where I said, okay, let me do this. So run, both see what had happened to Natasha, and then to also solidify the FCT, having, the voice that is needed. In ADC was when I wanted to, there were a lot of issues that were going on back and forth. I never made it public because of those issues that were going on. When we went to NDC, when I joined, I went directly to Mr. Sariak Dickson, and I think we were about 4 of us that had that meeting, with also a House of Representative aspirant. So I was a senatorial aspirant, he was a House of Representative aspirant, and 2 other people. We went into that, we met him. I was really excited, seeing me. I was very excited, he welcomed me, it's good. And I said to him, this is what I want to do. And he said, yeah, there's someone that has already come, wants to be senator, and someone else is also coming, that the 3 of you will sit down and have a consensus. If you do not agree, then we go for direct primaries. Those were the words from Senator Sariak. I said, okay. And that very day, that very evening, I think it was on the 6th, if I'm not mistaken, of May, that was when I put it out publicly.
6th of
May, I'm sure, I think, but I'm not too sure now. Let me not, but I think it was on that 6th of May. And I went, but you can check the tweet, it will be there. I put it and I said, I'm running. I publicly came out and said, I'm running for Senate. And I started everything, meeting everyone. Meanwhile, I had started all of that right from last year. I had been going around working with people. Even the FCT, when we had the FCT area council, I was already on it. I did 62,000 posters for all the wards, that were running. Then under ADC, campaigned with them, went. I thought I'd already
bought the forms.
Yeah?
You bought the nomination forms?
My own?
Yes, for the Senate. You bought the nomination.
Yeah, I did. I bought the expression of
interest
form. I bought for. No, let me come, because it's what I'm just trying to say. I'd been working on all of that even before declaring. So I went around, visited. I'm the only aspirant who went around and visited all the area councils, met with all the ward leadership and all of that. Then one day I come into, some people wanted to see him, and I went in there with them. I was like, oh, okay, Aisha. And he brought the issue of, hey, this somebody had come before, like, this thing, you need to, I'm like, what's going on here? And he said he offered this thing. And I said to him.
He offered the House of Reps?
Yeah, I was offered the House of Reps. I've said that before, even before he said it. In my distance channel, people are always looking for what to use as mischief. And the way they said it, they came out to put Aisha in a bad light. To smear and Aisha, she was too big. We never had that conversation. When they offered, this is what I said. I said, look, I cannot partake in an unjust process just because I'm going to be a beneficiary. 20 people. As of 20 people bought for, more than 20 were aspiring. And out of that, about, I would say 10, 12, 13, 14, or 15 people had come to meet me that they were running for House of Rep and all that. I didn't buy this thing for House of Rep. How then will I then go and then go and collect? See, you are sitting down here. You said to me that I've never acknowledged Mr. Bola-Ahmed Tinubu as president because I felt the process that brought him in was not a just process, was not the right process. So you then expect me that I have an opportunity, then I will now behave in that way and rig an election and take that ticket. Then I will forever be an illegitimate House of Rep member, and I will never be that. For me, I've always said, even if it's a councillor, it's service. Service is service. But I'm not going to do something in an unjust manner. I believe in doing the right thing. I've never been desperate, for anything. So when I said no, and I said something. I said, look, hold the primaries. And I was willing. And I said this to him. If you ever sit with him, say Aisha, I'm sure he's going to see this. Anyways, people will take it that way. And I said to him, help her win me. This person that you want. Let the party, let us go for primaries. Let the party even join her. And let them be biased. I don't even have issue with her. But let her win me. Let me know that I went on and I was defeated. I've never had issues with being defeated. And I said to him, I will go online on my Twitter page and I will write, I lost. Full stop. And I will defend the party. Even when maybe people will come across and say, no, but I gave you, help her. But they couldn't. You know why they couldn't? Because I was too big to be rigged. So even if you do that, no matter how you put it, people were waiting.
So you believe you would have won if you had the primary?
Don't ask me, because anything I say will be biased. Anytime you have people within Abuja, call them. Let me tell you something. Even now, there's this thing that is being passed. People even within that, I'm the candidate. I'm telling you, I'm not the candidate. Too. After substitution, I'll come out. I'm not. If you're voting, vote for whoever it is that you want to vote for with your full chairs, the person that is there. I'm not the one. But so it's about being too big. And then it comes online. What was that conversation all about? To say you offered in a democracy, and then, Aisha said she was too big. Not once, not twice, to smear my name, and then, this name is...
I think this clarification is very, very vital, Madam Aisha.
Not even just for... Nobody gave me... Say, the thing is that nobody gave me this, and nobody can smear it.
Not even just for Nigerians. You'll be shocked if I tell you that I am actually confessing now that I actually believed Sariak when he said,
no, a lot of people did.
You felt too big. Yes. I actually believe that.
That's
so thank you for this.
Passed. And let me tell you something. A lot of people felt, and let me see. We need to say this. We need to do this because I see, and I'm sending this message. I'm sorry, this interview might be long. I talk for Africa.
No problem.
And because there are a lot of people who felt disappointed, a lot of people who came, they were begging, Aisha, please take it. Aisha, please. See, there were some, when I explained this to them, let me explain it. And I've never explained it this way that I'm going to. I said to people, you say me, I'm a child of, or should I say a person of grace. I've been protected all my life by God's grace. I have done things, I have dared that even if you see me alive today, you'll be like, how is this one still alive? There's only one being that keeps protecting me. It's God. And as much as possible, I've always remained on the path of justice, on the path of equity, on the path of doing the right thing. If I come today and I deviate from that being that I've been even as a child, in the year 2000, 26 years ago, this thing, what was it called? NYC overpaid me. I think 3 times they put money in my account. I went to NYC. When I wanted to rate it, people said, no, don't do it. Don't do this. It's your money. Eat it. I went to NYC. They were angry at me. I had to go to People's Bank, defunct People's Bank. I still have where they stamped it, the money I returned. If I had eaten that money, do you think I will have the voice that I have today? I tell people, when I was writing, there was an exam I was writing in my level 3. And I need for people to understand. I think it was either in industrial microbiology. The lecturer came, I did not read that day. He gave us tests. We wrote the test. I knew I wrote nonsense. I canceled what I wrote. He gave me 0. I think it was over 10 over 20. I think it was over 20, 0 over 20. Then he forgot to mark, the right discourse of everybody. He returned. It was an impromptu test. And then people that missed it, he said, okay, they will come and rewrite their own. That was the worst 24 hours of my life. Because I was thinking in my mind, should I just keep my paper and just go and write a new one? But I said, but God knows that I wrote that paper, no matter what. At the end of the day, I submitted that paper and he gave me a 0. But I still ended up, we had another test, 60-40. I still ended up with a B. in that court. That's the kind of person I am. I've gotten beatings based on standing on when I say something. And that's why Nigerians trust me. Then I will now come. People have fought hard. They've spent their monies. If they knew they were going to give the ticket, why didn't they tell people that, no, please, don't collect this. Don't pay for House of Rep. We already make the consensus, the party, please understand. We want to give it to this person. Don't collect people's money. Don't make them waste money to do this. People had spent millions. Some people 50, 100, 150, 200 million on this ticket.
Wow.
Then I will now come and I will take it. And you think that God will be on my side? The next time something will happen to me, I'll do it. No, I'm not a too religious person. Although people say because I wear hijab, but I'm a spiritual person. I always believe that whatever I should do, I should be able to stand before God and be able to say, this is what I did and defend myself. I don't deliberately go and do the wrong thing. So for those who have felt, oh, Aisha, but why not? If we have you there, for me, this is it. And I'm not going to go through a process that is unjust just because I'm going to be a beneficiary.
Brilliant. I think Nigeria could do with many more of you, not because you're spiritual, but because you are highly principled. And it was the former U.S. president, the third U.S. president, Thomas Jefferson, perhaps the greatest U.S. president, who said, God help that principled men become our principal men. That principled men or women become our leading men or women. This is incredible. Thank you so much for this. Very important clarifications. Now, let's make progress. What separates the NDC, your new party, from APC, ADC, PDP, SDP, AAC, ADP? What separates the NDC? Why is it different from the others?
Mr. Peter Obi. Honestly, for me, I say things the way they are. If I'm angry...
So if you remove Peter Obi from the NDC?
There'll be nothing.
Really?
Sorry to say. Yeah.
Really?
I might be wrong, though. This may be my own opinion. Maybe I'm biased.
Sariak Dickson, Senator Sariak Dickson, former governor of Bayelsa State, two-term governor, former policeman, former national legal advisor of the Alliance for... And now current senator, said, that there's no big deal in Peter Obi and Okonkwo being that in fact he has a better credential, better qualification than both of them and all of those. Are you being fair to say that?
He's as I'm a member of the National Democratic Congress, yeah? And it's my national leader.
Yes.
So he's still my national leader
Yes.
as I'm there. The only thing I would say that there's something called data. You should go and find that. They can do research. Who knew NDC before Peter Obi joined?
Wow.
See, for me, I say things the way they are. You understand? And I believe in let's call a spade and not a garden implement. It is what it is. Even when Mr. Peter Obi, by the grace of God, becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will still call him. I will drag him. I will say, okay, this is how it is. That's how I am. There is nothing. The only difference for me, I don't know, maybe some other people, and thing is, this is about opinion now. This is my opinion. Other people will have their own opinion. For me, Aisha Yesufu, the only difference between NDC, ADC, APC is Peter Obi. And it's as simple as that. And a lot of us, for me, I am a Peter Obi supporter. And there are a lot of people who, for them, that is where, the focus is. Because this is one person, for me, that I feel, and a lot of Nigeria sees that he has the empathy, he cares, he wants to do the work. But most importantly for me, he wants a legacy. He wants to be seen in the light of the Lee Kuan Yew and Nelson Mandela. So he do everything to write his name in that, in the good history book. So we need someone that come and do the Jackie work for us.
Okay. It's interesting we're having this conversation, Madam Aisha. I've sat with people who are very close, just like you, to Mr. Peter Obi. Valentine Ozugbo, Kenneth Okonkwo. I could reel out names, people who are as close as you are to him. I mean,
even closer.
Perhaps even closer.
Even closer.
And this, I remember Val Ozugbo, I was trying to press him. He said, Peter Obi is not what people think he is. That he's so disappointed. Peter Obi threw him under the bus. His own words, though. Of course, I don't have to rehash everything Kenneth Okonkwo has said about Mr. Peter Obi. They're all there in the public domain. Tell us what you know about Mr. Peter Obi. Because what I know, what endears him, Peter Obi, to me, number one, fiscal discipline.
Yeah.
Then his austere lifestyle.
Yeah.
That resonates with me. I detest strongly, passionately flamboyance, obscene display of of wealth and consumptuous lifestyle of leaders. That's I find those detestable personally. So beyond his frugality, his austere lifestyle, I don't give shishi. That's some say it's frugal, some say it's stingy actually. What else do you know about Peter Obi that we don't know? 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, I don't know that 1 or 2 minutes, Carlo, but let me quickly say that the relationship I have with Mr. Peter Obi is not transactional. It's not that I do for you, you do for me. I want you to come and do for Nigeria so that I can be traveling all around the country. I know that people are being taken care of. So there are some where where people have a transactional relationship where, oh, you're supposed to get this if I do this, and they feel this thing. For example, I'll give you an example. There are a lot of people who have felt, but why didn't Mr. Peter Obi get the ticket for you?
Yeah.
Why didn't he get? I say, why should Mr. Peter Obi get ticket for me? It's a democracy. If Mr. Peter Obi is getting ticket for me, then it's no longer a democracy. Even me, he knows, even me, I will not accept any ticket.
How many people will even get for
exactly.
Anyway?
People are just sitting there, I'm obedient. Because I'm obedient. In 2023, I did this, so Mr. Peter Obi must. And he said, no, let the process take its part. And that's how democracy is supposed to work. So you find a lot of people who, because of one thing or the other, that they've not gotten. So for me, I don't have that. This is what I know of Mr. Peter Obi. And you've said the issue of, apart from the fact that he's frugal, he's not stingy. If you come to Mr. Peter Obi with something that is worthy, people's education, people's health, people's whatever, you see him. He's ready to bring out his check and send it in. But if you come to him that you're going to do town hall, where people are going to gather, bring them all over to Abuja, put them in hotel and come out, you have to, what are they talking? What will we not do a talk? So you see, that's the difference. He puts his money where he knows it will be beneficial to the people. And for someone who has worked hard and earned his money, you will understand that this is someone who is born into wealth. He didn't just, see wealth. The other thing is his empathy. He doesn't need a camera in his face for him to tell him that, look, I care about the people. He cares about people. He cares about Nigeria. And this is someone that has taken his time to study and see, what is around the country. He has been all over the country, even as a businessman, not just the fact that, as a, what do you call it now, as a politician. So he knows, the places, and he sees the suffering of the people, and he feels it. For me, that's a really, a major thing. He's also someone who is willing to learn. You see, as we are this say, as we say that here, me and Mr. Peter Obi, we can quarrel like this on this issue. No, sir, this is the way it is. We will have our this thing. If at the end of the day I see that, his point of view was, I'll come and say, okay, yes, sir, your own this thing. We will argue. If he now says it's my own or our own, he will now come and say, okay, yes. Whatever he doesn't know, you understand, he will tell you, he will learn from you, and when he learns it, he will take ownership. And you don't like sponge. He sponges off on knowledge. For example, now you do an interview with him. He might send it down to me and say, okay, critique it. And I write down all the things where, okay, you did this way, you didn't do this way, you did this way. We take over. When he's doing interview, I'm writing down this because this is the way you answer this thing. So for me, is that most important is someone who doesn't feel that he knows it all. And Mr. Peter Obi, he's never afraid to get in people in the team who he knows are better than him, because he will say that's where they can bring in more of those things. So, and this one, how could I have forgotten this one? He's very courageous. If I had gone home now, I'd be angry I didn't put it. See, when they say who has coconut head, it is Mr. Peter Obi. You see his life, he will say, Aisha, if we die, we die. Let's do this. There were places even in 2022 election, right, where we were told not to enter. We flew into Southern Kaduna helicopter. We had been warned all this thing that the plane can be brought down by terrorists. He said, are there not people there? And you see how he took on this oil theft, spoke about it. The one you people call president.
Let
me round up. Yeah. You see, things that people are afraid to, he can. And he has the courage and conviction to stand on what is right. No matter how people are coming at him, he will stand on this thing. But you see the thing that a lot of people mistake, because of the way he speaks.
Yeah.
So because of the ways he's soft-spoken. So he's the kind of person that people not think because of the way he speaks that, he cannot. It's a lie. He is very, very courageous.
Let me try and debunk this last bit. Every other thing you said is I understand. I see them. I agree entirely. But this bit on courage, that's why I say you took it out of my mouth because that was the next question I was going to ask you. You know why? One of those I spoke with, I didn't speak with people following Peter Obi around carrying his bag. I mean, the two people I mentioned, the first one I should have actually mentioned was Baba-Ahmed. His VP nominee for the last presidential elections. I sat with him almost 2 hours. And one of the things he told me was that, because I said, why are you not with your principal? He said, Wale, he wanted the last elections, the way it turned out, he wanted them to go do, somebody like you, I know that's what you would have done. Ogboju, you would have scattered everywhere.
No, I wasn't doing that.
That he was ready to scatter and fight.
Why didn't he?
But he said, Peter Obi restrained him. That Peter Obi restrained him. He was trying to be very polite and hold on, Aisha. He was trying to be very diplomatic, but I coaxed that. Anyway, so the bottom line is that even Kenneth said pretty much, is Peter Obi really bold? Is he really fearless?
One thing that Peter Obi will never do, right, is to how do I put it? It's for people to die on his behalf. Peter Obi will never
people's lives at risk.
Put people's lives at risk. There are so many of them. I'm not going to mention names. Now, you deduce what you want to deduce. For them, their children are safe. They are out there. Their families are safe. Even they themselves, they will not do it. But they want other people to go and be, to do it for them. That's not leadership. Leadership is to be at the forefront. I'll give you one example. This interview is supposed to be short, but anyway, you see P Square. When I've had interviews where people ask me, is there one regret that I have all throughout the program? And I always say there is one. And that regret was, we had P Square was going to come and perform. They were going to come and perform, I think it was Bayelsa,
for the campaign.
For the campaign in 2022. Yeah, I think it was around December, ending of 2022. They were going to campaign for us in 3 states in the southeast, south, and then one in Lagos. When they brought this thing in, Peter Obi said he didn't want them to get into trouble. He didn't want the APC government to come after them, for them to suffer. I was like, sir, they have already shown their support for you. They are ready to do it. We had everything. I was in charge of, I made all the arrangement. I spoke with both of them. They had agreed. Our plane was on ground. We had gotten a private jet. They were going to go to 3 states. They had an interview in Abuja that they were going to, in Lagos for visa, this thing, and then we take them back. We had gotten the private jet. The person that was paying for had paid everything standby. I took almost like 8 hours back and forth. If I were to go to my exchange with Peter, I put down 8 points of why they should be. His own was to protect them. That's the kind of person he is. And I said today, I would have override that. I would just do it. Okay, you say I don't do it, right? But I didn't do that. So that was why they cancelled the first place that they were going to go. I can't remember. And so at the end of the day, they had to, because they were not happy. They said, this thing, they put it out, they canceled. So when they now went to Port Harcourt, because they did play in Port Harcourt, but they didn't make it public. So if you see, that would have brought, the people we had in Port Harcourt were not too many that came in the whole organization by the party. That would have been a different thing. For me, I always tell people, that's the kind of person he is. He will protect everyone. He will protect. When former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan said, the life of any Nigeria is not his ambition is not what the blood of any Nigeria. Mr. Peter Obi lived it. No, let me finish lived it with the 2023 election. Where, by the way, this is where the thing comes in. People were on the streets in Abuja from before they announced the election up until Supreme Court. You remember that, what's his name now? Asari Dokubo was bringing in people to come and attack them in Abuja. All these people that are saying Mr. Peter Obi, why were they not there?
Okay. Let me compare and contrast. Another presidential candidate, a veteran civil rights activist, Olawale Sowore, is always in the forefront, canvassing for good governance. He's been brutalized, severely molested, beaten, battered, but he's still doing it, dogged. Do you know that, Aisha, I've sat with people here who tell me, before you came, 2 hours before you came, I had a guest here who was going all out against opposition party, including your principal, that these guys are not putting up any show. That if you think 2027 is going to be a walk in the park, that you need forceful, not violence now, but forceful opposition, just like APC did in 2014. Can you compare Mr. Peter Obi to Sowore, for instance?
In what sense?
In terms of forceful opposition, not violence, forceful opposition.
So
the way
when
does.
When you say forceful opposition,
Yes.
and I want this to be the whole conversation I'm going to make, I haven't seen Omoyele Sowore do forceful opposition. I've seen him do forceful advocacy. As an advocate, he's there. Omoyele Sowore is courageous.
Yeah.
He's there. He
Yeah.
will stand
Yeah.
everybody, but not as a politician, not as an opposition. He hasn't. Let me ask you, when last did you see Sowore with his candidates? He's campaigning for them in any election.
He was in Oshogbo. He was in Oshogbo yesterday, 2 days ago. I saw him.
To
in
thank
Oshogbo.
God, he was in Oshogbo
Yes,
this
I saw
year.
him.
Before then, when Anambra election was taking place.
I'm not sure.
So I haven't, because I remember I even made that to the AS. I said that when your candidates, for example, we have by-elections, right? Elections are going on, and candidates are all over the place. Where is your leader of your party? You should be able to see him. But you see, when there is advocacy, when there is this thing, Sowore is at the forefront. He's been the one that has taken on everyone. He's very courageous.
Fighting
stand
for
there.
people's
So
rights
that's
and all of that.
at the advocacy level.
level.
But in the political level, he hasn't been. The person who has been fighting opposition in the political level is Mr. Peter Obi. It's not Sowore. Sowore is the one that has been fighting on the advocacy on issue. He's the one that is stopped there. So those are two different things. If you say, I always say people, before now, like his candidates, where are they? It's not just, we want to do opposition. Opposition, politics and advocacy, the end result is the same, right? We want it for the greater good, but the method are two different things. So you have to be, you have to focus on which one.
Fair point. But let's take on this one. Are you one of those who are telling Mr. Peter Obi? Because I know you have his ears. You are very, very close to him.
I don't have anybody's ear. I just say things the way they are. Anybody that will take it, take it.
Hold on. And I don't.
I will not take it.
Just hold on, Aisha. I don't envy Mr. Peter Obi, because if I were Peter Obi and you are somebody else, I'm sure you keep Peter Obi on his toes, because he knows
he's coming to serve Nigeria. It's there's no
there was a tweet I saw.
I'm respectful, but I know the fear person.
No.
Your Excellency, everything is right now. Like
exactly.
you are coming to serve Nigeria.
You know, there was a tweet Peter Obi put out a couple of years ago. He said, everybody will be talking to Atiku Tinubu, Your Excellency, GCFR, yes, that Aisha and the others will be saying, Mr. Peter Obi, please, we have to do this now, we have to do this now. Anyway,
because it's for Nigerians.
Exactly. Here's the question. Are you one of those who are telling him it is either him or he's nobody else? Because do you believe that without coalition, this opposition cannot
there has
defeat
not been
Tinubu?
Coalition. So what do we call the last opposition?
The G100 say there must be coalition should come around.
Yeah, so
if Peter Obi says, for instance, he will support Atiku, what would you tell him? Would you back him?
He's supporting Atiku now. Is it Aisha that is supporting? So let me tell you something. Peter Obi does not own an Aisha.
Yes.
So I'm not an employee. Like sometimes people say, you work. I don't work for Peter Obi. I work with Peter Obi. So I am my own person, and I'm giving him support.
Absolutely.
So the fact that if he decides to support anybody, so what does that mean? You say if he decides to drop out of the race and support anybody, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Then that would be his own decision. It has nothing to do with me.
But will you still back him?
But how am I backing him when he's not running for office? Or are you saying that if he supports somebody, then that means he owns me? I'm not that kind of person I'm not a charter that is owned like other people that, you're this thing. I am my own person. I make my own decision on my own. And the reason why I'm supporting Peter Obi is because I know he has given me everything to know that he's going to work for Nigeria. If he wasn't working for Nigeria, I'm not going to support him. I don't have this thing. So this thing, there's something that you said. When you talk about opposition, who is it that has been doing opposition in Nigeria? It's the people. There is no opposition party. The last time the opposition was done was when APC was in opposition. And APC did better in opposition than they are doing in governance.
Absolutely.
And they need to go back to their opposition.
They did better.
Yes, they were great. You see this one that you have, you see things like, you people did bring back our guests to do this thing. Look, opposition are known for one thing. When there's an issue, they capitalize on it and keep doing it. These ones that we have, they are either afraid to say, we are not doing opposition like APC. Meanwhile, issues are happening. They are not talking about it. And then wait, most of them, because they have skeleton in their cupboards, they can't talk.
Okay.
If you talk, you say anyhow. I've not finished now, you are okaying me. The thing is this, because you asked a very germane question. People are going to cut this out and be analyzing. I don't have to be doing extra video to analyze, what I've said. In Nigeria today, there is no opposition party. Nobody has been doing opposition. It is the Nigerian people. We have the individuals that have been doing opposition. Peter Obi, as an individual on his Twitter handle, has done more opposition than all the other political parties combined together. So for me, this is what I believe. It is the Nigerian people that have been doing opposition, standing against, what we have right now, that we come together and make that decision. So I don't think it's an opposition thing per se. It's about us saying, look, the Nigerian people knowing this is what it is. But whatever decision they make is their own. I make my own decision.
I like what you said, that APC were better in opposition. I agree with you.
They were better in opposition.
And you said,
they went on, and let me tell you something, and I think people forget this thing, right? And it's so sad that when people get into office, they now became the monsters that
they were fighting
against. Remember what happened, and I always read this out. When APC was opposition, their offices were always being attacked by PDP. A sitting governor, my state, what's his, oh God, me and names there, Adams Oshomole,
okay,
was stopped from flying. His helicopter was stopped. They said order from above. Lai Mohammed and some other APC leaders were arrested, either Oshun or Ekiti election, where they said that they were loitering. Merily Oga of DSS. During that time, newspapers.
Aisha, we have to roll.
No, we have to roll. But people forget.
Okay.
Newspapers, military men, PDP government used newspaper soldiers to come and pack away newspapers. You say you have to go, but anyway, people forget that. So they suffered a lot in opposition, and they did opposition. But the thing is that we need to send APC back to opposition, which they know how to do very well. Governance is zero.
Very interesting. What red line will Mr. Peter Obi cross for you that then you sever your ties with him?
The red lines are here. Oh, the day he's no longer accountable to Nigerian people, absolutely. If I don't see character, the day he does not exhibit character, competence, capacity, and there's no, Nigerian people are not the priority, that's a red light for me. See, in 2022, ask me, they were setting, I will just drop this line, I think I will just shut up and not say anything. There were many things where, you see the way I did not accept the House of Rep ticket that was given to me because there were other people who were doing it on the issue of principle. There were many issues where many people brought this thing, how do I put it, that kind of offer, we'll make you the president, but you have to do A, B, C, D. Mr. Peter Obi, there was some, he said, Aisha, don't make any, his wife, he said, Aisha, is it my husband that you're mimicking his wife? Aisha, no, we are not going to send Nigeria. I don't have to be president by force. We won't make any promises about it. There were a lot of those things. So for me, if I see today that he's no longer a person who puts Nigeria first, that's it.
I love that you're wearing this pin, bring back our girls.
Yeah, we still have over 80 in captivity.
Over 8, right?
Yeah, 80.
80.
80.
And incidentally, after the Chibok schoolgirls abduction that went viral all over the world, there has been several schoolgirls and even boys abductions all over Nigeria. Many are saying that some of you rode on the crest wave of...
so let them roll on this one.
on activism to popularity.
Let them roll
Aisha,
on
hold on.
those ones.
Now, yourself, Hadiza Bala Mohammed, who is one of the
Hadiza Bala Usman.
Hadiza Bala Usman, who is one of President Tinubu's high-level advisors. Of course, Madam Obiageli Ezekwesili. Have you guys abandoned these people? Because besides the pin I'm seeing you put on, I've not heard you talk about them.
When last did you talk about them, all the ones that are happening now?
No, you are the rights activist.
No, there's no rights activist. When I came out, and this is what I tell people, when I came out, I had a child. My daughter and the vice president's son were in the same class. I could have gone ahead and not bother, but I bothered. That's why I tell people, you see, this activist, I'm not an activist, I'm an active citizen. When I turned 40, I realized that my silence was also the problem of Nigeria. The same thing when we were pushing on this issue, if people like you, because you have made it and said that I'm the activist, if people like you have joined all of us and forced government to know that the child of a poor person is important to the then PDP government that was led by Jonathan, we won't be where we are today. And this is what we were warning Nigerian people against, that, look, if we allow Chibok girls to happen, many more abductions are going to happen. So Nigerians feel that, but actually you people should be the ones talking about it. No, every Nigerian should be the one talking about it. But since our empathy is expensive, people want for their children to be abducted before they come out. Let us be going. All of us, they are abducted. But let me just say something. There's something that people keep talking about, Hadiza Bala Usman, and this is very wrong. Hadiza Bola Usman was not appointed into APC because she did BBOG. She was an APC member before then. CPC, she had run for, I think, House of Rep. Yeah. During BBOG, there were members of PDP, APC, all political parties and people from all walks of life, because it was about caring for the people. So this thing where people keep made that it was a reward, it is not fair on her. She has her competence, and that should not be taken away from her.
Perfectly. I mean, she was chief of staff to Nasir El-Rufai as governor of Kaduna State.
Yes, she was.
She was MPA, Nigerian Ports Authority MD. So she's a highly capable person.
She's a capable person. So when they keep making that, because that's what I'm not even saying you now. That's the allusion people keep that it was a reward. No. That's not fair to her. She had her own this thing. For us, it was not about reward, and that's why, thank God, we kept her at this thing. And Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, God bless that woman. She ensured that we did not collect anything from anybody, not a single dime. If you're going to be a member, it is us that we donated our own money to do the things that we did. Otherwise, now they would have said that was how we enrich ourselves. Thank God my child was already in school where they would not say that I enriched myself with some money.
Final or second to last question. Presidential elections are January 16th next year, just 5 months thereabouts. What plans, any coordinated plans, either opposition or NDC alone, to forestall potential rigging, manipulation, or sabotage of election outcomes? Any such plan?
Absolutely. Are we going to sit here? 2027 election is going to be. It's going to be. We are fighting for our lives and the soul of Nigeria. I've used it war.
Metaphorically.
I say, whatever you want to take it. Somebody that told you all is fair. So I should say that they just kill me like that. I'm fighting for my life and the soul of my country, and that's how it is everywhere. And one of the things we thought is that this election, we're looking at it, it is manual. It is not about the glitch. No. And people are already there. Men we mount, women we mount. People are already waiting at every polling unit, right? And this is what is going to happen. We are going to manually go into that election, knowing, and this is not just, it's Nigerians all across. We are going to that election knowing that we are looking at it as manner. Everything to rig it has already been put in place. So we are going to watch our votes, that they will count it in our presence, they will enter the right figure. When we come to that election, we are not going back home. From our polling unit, we will go to the World Collation Center, ensure that it is what we voted that is entered. From there to the local government collation center, state collation center, and the federal collation center, we will all sit down to ensure everything, that we entered is what is entered. And whoever Nigerians choose should be given that thing. I've always said that INEC is not the problem. The people in INEC is the problem. So everybody should take to their members that they know they're in INEC, police or whatever, to do the right thing. And moreover, there is no better day to do a revolution other than an election day, because on that day nobody is going to work.
Revolution by votes.
It's not only by vote. We will stand. If they don't go, we will be on the streets. On that day, nobody is going to work, nobody is traveling, everybody is already down. So we can easily do that revolution that people call for on that day. So for them to avoid that revolution is to ensure that whoever wins, and it doesn't matter who wins, let it just be the mandate of, I've always said, if it was free, fair election that was done, and what people voted for, not the one that IREV went off, election that had 3 people in 2023, the president, they could upload House of Rep, they could upload Senate, all of a sudden they couldn't upload, the presidential result. If the result had shown that the way it is now was what happened, who was there? You accept it. It's democracy. So let the will, of the people be. So that's how we are going to follow it. There's nothing like you are depending on the goodness of INEC to do the right thing. Nigerians will force them to do the right thing.
One of Mr. Peter Obi's very strong allies and supporters, Honorable Sejos Ogun's former House of Rep member, from your state, actually.
Yeah, from my state.
You didn't mention the fact that, because he told me here that you guys have your own independent IREV, a platform, that on real-time, online collation of results, as it's been done in INEC, will be done there, so that the issue of riggings and all that will be called out as it is happening real-time. I thought we were going to mention that. But anyway.
Why would I mention that? I didn't even expect him to mention that, because let me tell you something.
Yes.
For me, I always believe that the best of strategy is a strategy where people don't know you are doing anything. They think you are doing mumu.
Yes.
Apart from that, that one is there. What I'm even saying to you, that koro, our eyes they follow and say, like they change anything.
Bumper to
we
bumper.
Died there. Because it's our life.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Aisha. It's been a pleasure having you. And let me say this.
It's not been a pleasure. You've been tiring. You've been asking me so many questions, but it's really been a pleasure.
Mr. Peter Obi, this kind of strength and
No,
passion.
of course. No,
I don't envy him at all.
No.
Having to
He
deal
will
with
tell-
somebody.
even
If he has two of you, I feel sorry for
If you
him.
come and ask him, he will say, Aisha, the trouble. Because I have to. My business is, and it's also not for him to hear what he wants to hear, but what he has to hear.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
Thank you so much, Madam Aisha, for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.